Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
We're going for a drive.
I've been wandering down the same road back into town, talking on the phone with you. Who knows what we should do? 'Cause I'm tortured.
2021 Chevy Tahoe.
High Country without launch control. Pretty slow right off the line.
Horsepower and torque.
420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque from a 6.2-liter V8.
So realistically, this is pretty much the exact same car as that Yukon AT4 we recently reviewed.
Yes, pretty much, except the AT4 was the off-road trim, so the comparable Chevy Tahoe version would be the Z71, which is why we're in the High Country, which is the most luxurious model.
Yeah, this is for cruising on the streets, not exactly off-roading, even though it's pretty much exactly just as capable.
Yes, pretty much, other than being limited by the bumper, which changes your approach angle, and then the tires. Because this also has the exact same air suspension, so it has the same amount of lift as that one did as well.
And then this one will also have the independent rear suspension as well.
Yes, it's literally the same truck.
And since it's the same truck, I think we should start with the looks, because this looks like something that you drive on the streets instead of off-road.
That's right. It does look very luxurious, and between all of the trim levels, there's a really big difference in the front bumper.
So starting with the grille, this one is chrome at the front with a little bit of like bronze accent chrome as well.
Yeah, and I think it looks really good.
And then on the RST, you'll get just black lines across, and on the Z71, you'll get like these little circles in the grille.
Yeah, and they all look pretty individually unique. I like it, and they all fit what each model is.
And another similar model is the Suburban, which is pretty much this exact thing, just a little bit longer.
Yes, and Chevy would like everybody to know that it's the longest running nameplate.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty long history.
And the main thing with the Suburban is you can actually just pile stuff behind the third row while people are there, even though they made this one longer than the last gen, so we can actually fit all of our carry-on stuff behind the third row just fine, and the third row will have more room, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, so back to the looks. I really like these headlights. I don't like how they look in the truck versions, but I like it in the SUVs.
Yeah, I think it's a cool design that you'll be able to notice from a distance and notice that it is very Tahoe.
So moving around to the side, the first thing that I notice is the big High Country badge.
Yeah, but it's a huge fender, so like you kind of need to have a huge badge to fit there.
Yeah, and then people that are buying this are probably gonna want like a big chrome High Country badge. It looks cool, it's really big.
And if we look at the body lines, it's pretty normal, it's nice and crisp, and then we've got those indented fender flare kind of things on the fenders.
That's right, which is what like Hyundai, Kia, and a lot of other companies are doing now, where it looks like a real fender flare, but it's actually not.
And unlike the last gen, this one has air rides, so it'll be able to sit down a lot lower, and it won't look like it doesn't fit in the wheel gaps properly.
Yeah, because this has the entry-exit mode, so it can go a total of like 4 inches up or down, but it doesn't look that low. I wish it went like a little bit lower in entry-exit mode, but overall, having air suspension on this is so good. It's such a good ride, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Then we've also got the side steps that come out when you open the door. At the top, we've got that little part of the body panel between the very back and the middle row windows that kind of goes up. You really notice it in the white version.
And the air suspension is like a crucial thing that really changes the way this looks and feels.
Okay, so now moving on to the back, we've got different taillights.
Yeah, they're okay. They're not too special.
Maybe at night they pop more, but they kind of just look normal.
And my favorite part about the back end are the exhausts, because they are real and they just look really good.
Yes, but in different trims, sometimes you don't get an exhaust. It's hidden below.
Yeah, if you get the 5.3-liter V8, you ironically do not get any exhaust tips, but the 6.2 is standard on the High Country.
And then you can open the trunk normally, and then you can also have the glass open up, and then there's also a hidden wiper back there.
So overall, this is solid 10 out of 10 looks for this type of truck.
Yeah, they definitely did a great job refreshing it, and I don't think as many people are going to be mad at this as they are at the Silverado.
Yeah, exactly. Like the Silverado just doesn't look so good from the front.
I don't mind the Silverado looks.
So onto that ride quality with this 4-corner air suspension, it is amazing in every mode. I don't really feel a difference between the drive modes, but it's such a comfortable drive. Even compared to last year's Escalade, well, the last generation of Escalade, this is such a better ride.
And then we did drive the AT4 off-road, and that thing handled perfectly on like rough surfaces. And this is the exact same thing.
Yeah, and having that off-road mode just like we did in that, we can raise this a couple inches and then you can just go over anything, and it's so comfortable. And you also mentioned that this does have independent rear suspension, which also helps with the handling. Now, we're not at Cliche Corner today, but I can tell you without a doubt this handles really good, better than the last gen.
And that independent rear suspension is what helps you get more room in the third row, which we again will talk about later.
But the one thing that they made sure that this was still body on frame, but it doesn't really feel like it's body on frame. Like, it feels solid, sure, but it doesn't feel like it drives like an old truck.
Yeah, it feels more modern. But with more modern stuff, we have lane keep and everything, right?
Ah, good one. We actually have lane keep where it like helps you keep into the lanes, but it doesn't lane center.
It's more of a lane departure assist.
It's really just that.
But then we have radar cruise.
Yeah, which is really nice. But I mean, at this price and at the top trim, you'd expect to have everything.
Yeah, like if you look at the Kia Telluride, it's got like the best system ever, and it's kind of a competitor with this. It's exactly a competitor with this.
Yeah, it's just not body on frame or no 4-low transfer case, but like size-wise, yeah. So now I'm going to floor this 6.2 liter V8. It's really slow to downshift. It's got a lot of gears to go through because we do have a 10-speed auto. Now, when you're driving around normally, it's really smooth, but I noticed that it's just slow to downshift.
Yeah, I guess it's not a performance SUV. Maybe the RST is a little quicker.
I don't think so. I think it's the exact same drivetrain. I don't think they tuned it any differently. Like, I'll floor it again, give it another shot. It's really slow to downshift.
But it's like not meant to be fast.
No, but the actual truck itself is like pretty good. It's not slow by any stretch, and steering is generally pretty light. It's not too light for a truck like this. It's just right.
So with all your driving stuff out of the way, time to get me behind the wheel and talk about all the fun stuff in the interior, because this does have a lot of cool stuff, which is pretty much exactly the AT4.
Not behind the seat?
Not behind the seat today.
Okay.
Launch control.
No launch control. With traction control off. So this is still fully a truck. So we do have 2 high, 4 high, 4 low. So that was in 2 high with the traction off with a little bit of a brake boost.
Yes, I'd like to be able to just like do burnouts and peel out like they do in cop movies and stuff.
Yes, and that's the cool part about getting these kind of body on frame trucks instead of like a Kia Telluride, because you can still do that.
yeah, exactly.
And then you can send it off road and you got all that stuff.
Okay, now touching on the interior, this is a different layout than the AT4 that we had. I feel like a lot of the layouts are completely different, but very similar.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this makes sense for a luxury trim.
We have very nice wood. It looks real. It might be, I'm really not sure. I don't believe anything anyone does anymore.
Yeah, we can't verify anything.
But it's nice. We've got the like bronzy material down here at the bottom. And then the layout of all the buttons and everything is exactly like all GM stuff.
Yeah, so we do have a bunch of physical controls for the climate. We have our heated and cooled seats, and then we also have radio controls as well.
We've got a wireless charger down here at the bottom, but there won't be any lights that come on when you're actually charging. It'll show up in the bottom left with like a lightning bolt at the phone icon.
Yeah, which is cool, but you just have to get used to that.
I can't film it because anytime I pick up my phone to film it, it's off.
Well, we'll do it with my phone.
We've got 2 cup holders up here. They fit today's medium cup of coffee just fine, but it does fit a small as well. Then we got this cool armrest area with 2 cups back here. This opens up, not that much room, but there's a button up here that slides this back with a secret compartment down here. And when you're in valet mode, this thing locks in place so you can lock stuff in there.
Yeah, and if you watched our Yukon review, you already would have known all that. You know what else they would have known? The visors.
I don't even remember.
I don't either.
I think they passed. 3, 2, 1.
Yes, they do.
Perfect.
Good job.
And unfortunately, we don't have the boxes here for a box test because this is like kind of a localized press strip.
Yeah, so we still haven't box tested one of these.
But look how much room there is back there.
Tons.
I
It would
think-
actually do really well.
Really well. Next fun thing I like, if you click the camera button, which is unfortunately only in the infotainment, no hard button, while you're even driving, it'll show you for 8 seconds your camera and then shut off.
Which is super cool, because if you're trailering stuff, you're going to want to know if it's still there and all your wires are good.
Yeah, and it's better than having a button that says like, not active right now. Like, all right, here's 8 seconds.
Exactly. And it's all really high res, and we do have a bunch of cameras everywhere, so we do have 360 cameras as well.
Yes, they keep bragging about their class-leading 9 cameras. I mean, they do a really good job. And while you're reversing, if you're coming close to something, instead of just beeps, you're gonna get vibrations in your seat as well, which is pretty convenient and not annoying for everybody.
Yeah, I don't really like it that much.
And then our mirror is also a camera, so if we flip that, we can see at the back, so if there is something obstructing our view, that's pretty nice to have. Oh, touchscreen, bro.
But it is bothering both of us because you have to like refocus your eyes.
Yep, I do not like, and I'm going to turn that off.
But it's good for like night driving.
And just like the Yukon, we have, for the first time ever, wireless Android Auto in here.
Yeah, so wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay work very well here.
Yes, and it's awesome because you have the option to do wired as well. because I don't really like wireless Apple CarPlay.
Best of both worlds.
So how about this rear entertainment?
Pretty much exactly the same as in the Yukon. So we do have Miracast, and I was able to get it to work on my Android phone again for the first time ever.
Yeah, and it doesn't work on Apple devices, which kind of sucks. So just like the AT4, I would just slap my Netflix on a tablet there. But there's a thing that bothers me about the rear entertainment. In the Spike Lee commercial for the new Escalade, when they show the back screens, it shows no like outline there
Yeah,
at
there's
all.
no bezel.
But there is here.
Oh, there's definitely bezels. Yeah, don't trick us, marketing. I can see everything you're doing.
You owe me monitors at the back with no edges.
Yes.
Edgeless.
And since we're talking about the back seats, there is tons of room in the second row and in the third row. I am so comfortable in every row in this vehicle.
And even up at the front, also very comfortable. We've got good adjustments for everything.
Yeah, the seats are super comfortable. Like elbow resting is really good. The materials are also really good. A bunch of leather. I like it.
And then if we move this armrest back, we can still move this forward. So even with this moved back, I can still have my elbow on the armrest and touch the steering wheel with my hands. Rude. And then we also have a gigantic head-up display, which I think is too large. I think they should have a button that shrinks it down 50%, but lucky for us, it's all hard button controlled here on the left, like all other GM vehicles, which is the best head-up display control settings in the industry.
It really is. And down there we also have our drive mode settings.
Hit me with the drive modes.
You hit yourself with them because you're driving.
So we have normal, sport, off-road, and then tow haul.
So if you're towing something, this can tow around 8,000 pounds, which is quite good.
And if you want to get some details on towing, Truck King on YouTube is also going to be doing a Tahoe review with a lot of tow tests.
Yeah, so check that out if you like towing. And if you put this in off-road mode and then go into 4 low, that's where you get maximum ground clearance with the air suspension.
So we don't have tune mix in this one, but we can rewind satellite radio stations, which is a nice step. So what does this compete with?
This would be like the Ford Expedition. I think that's exactly who they would target with this. And I mean, they kind of target themselves with the GMC Yukon.
How about the Suburban?
Yeah, also that, but I mean, it's a bit longer, so.
And then kind of the Telluride, or not really?
Not really, but kind of.
There's like a lot of features in the Telluride and the Palisade that we kind of like more than in this.
Yeah, and I'm going for like the off-roady, trucky type of SUVs as well. And since this is so new, we currently don't have a price, but by the time the video is out, we will have a price, so you will already see it on the screen right now.
So overall, really like driving the truck. I think it looks great. And if you want to see what this thing can do off-road, watch our Yukon AT4 review.
Click right here. It was pretty fun off-road.
It was really capable.
It's comfortable too.
Super comfortable.
More comfortable than my Raptor.